You know, you start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Today we're going to do the poem Refugee Blues by W.H. Auden, right? It's from page 29 of your textbook. Look at page 29 of the textbook, not the PDF counter. Right? Not the PDF counter, the textbook, page 29. Okay? So,
क्या देखना है?
first we'll read the note of the author. Okay? First we'll read the note of the author. W.H. Auden. It is Winston Hugh Auden, 1907 to 73.
मोहम्मद शमी.
Was born in York and educated at Gresham School, Holt. Right? York is one of the counties in England. Right? And Holt is a small village. So, Winston Hugh Auden, that's W.H. Auden, was educated at Gresham School, which is in a place called
करना
Holt.
ऊपर.
He came to be known as an accomplished poet. He came to be known as an accomplished poet
यही चाहिए क्या तेरे को?
when he was still a student at Christ Church, one of the best constituent colleges of Oxford. You all heard of Oxford University. As you know, a university will have many colleges affiliated with it, right? So one of the colleges affiliated to Oxford University is Christ Church College, right? Christ Church is one of the very famous colleges actually in the world, right? So he came to be known as an accomplished poet when he was still a student at Christ Church College. For quite some time, he had a few radical leftist ideas which he eventually grew out of. Right? Leftist, rightist, left wing, right wing, these are political ideologies. So, when he was young, he had leftist ideas, left wing ideas. Okay? But he soon grew out of them. Right? He gave up, became maturer. After his college years in Oxford, Auden lived briefly in Berlin. Berlin is in Germany. Right? So he lived in Berlin. Though he returned to England, he frequently visited Germany. Right? His home was in England, but he frequently kept visiting Germany. What happened in Germany in the 1940s, 1950s, like that? 1930s, 1940s, 1950s. What happened in Germany? Why the silence? Germany,
Germany.
1930s,
World War I.
1940s.
थ्री
Was
वाला.
responsible for the World War,
Hitler.
World War II, Hitler.
Hitler.
Huh? Don't know so much history. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, you see, look at the title of the poem, Refugee Blues. Blues means blue, you're feeling blue. It's a feeling of sadness, feeling of melancholy, right? Feeling of sadness, right? Refugees, who are refugees? The people who are forced to emigrate. See, there's a war in some country, the people will be forced to emigrate because they cannot continue to live there. Refugee blues. people who have left Germany. Which peoples left Germany? They are supposed to immigrate on a large scale in Germany. Which peoples? Jews. Jews were persecuted by Adolf Hitler because of their religion. Right? So Jews were forced to evacuate Germany. Right? Refugee blues. How did W.H. Auden get the idea of writing this poem? Because he kept visiting Germany. Right? He kept visiting Germany. So finally he came up with this poem, Refugee Blues. What it means to be a refugee. Right? See, we're all used to certain comforts, isn't it? Certain comforts. House, food, places to go, friends, family. We all take these things for granted. But in wartime, nothing is taken for granted. You're walking somewhere, you may be stabbed by somebody, you don't know. That's what happens during wartime. These people, they are in wartime. The refugees, in the title, they are in wartime. They don't have anything to take for granted like we do. So they are feeling blue. Right? In 1939, he moved to the United States of America and became its citizen in 1946. Right? Became a US citizen in 1946. The change of nationality brought about a dramatic volte-face in Auden's much wanted Marxist stance. Marxist, M-A-R-X-I-S-T. Right? Marxist is called, I think it's called an eponym. Eponym. E-P-O-N-Y-M. An eponym is a name, it's a word taken from the name of some person. Name of some person. For example, you have Dickensian. Dickensian scenes are the scenes in Dickens, Charles Dickens' novels. You all heard of Charles Dickens. Right? Dickensian. It's an eponym. Whose name is Marxism? An eponym of. Whose name is Marxism? The word Marxism. M-A-R-X-I-S-M. Karl Marx. Right? You heard of Karl Marx?
Yes.
You heard of him, but you forgot. When did you hear of him? See, Marxism. Marxism is part of communism. What is communism? Community. The government which is based on a community, not on a democracy. Right? The government supplies everything, whatever you need. You have to go and work. Community, communal labor, communism, Marxism, Leninism, Stalinism, all these, they were leaders of Karl Marx, Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, Joseph Stalin. These are all leaders of communism, right? So, anyway, the change of nationality. What change of nationality? Which change of nationality are we talking about? Yes. Auden moved to the US and became a US citizen in 1946. The change of nationality brought about a dramatic volte-face. Here's a new word. bold face. I don't know, sir, that's how you pronounce it. You can check on Google how you pronounce it. Bold face. Bold face means an opposite point of view, an opposite situation. Not opposing, opposite. He believed in one thing, he believed in Marxism, he went to the US, became a US citizen, forgot about Marxism, like you. No, right? See, he gave up his ideas of Marxism. Right? Why? America is it a communist country? It is a capitalist country. It's not, it's a deadly enemy of communism. Communism means you have to work and the government supplies you with everything. You're not given any extra benefits as such. Not too many extra benefits. Capitalism, on the other hand, if you have the strength, if you have the ability, you can become a centibillionaire. Centibillionaire means 100 billion. Centum. If you have the ability, that's capitalism. It's Americans. Communism says, that's it. You do what you're told. Right? You give them everything. You're not allowed to display your potential in communism. But in capitalism you are. Right? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they're all centibillionaires, 100 billion. Okay. So, anyway, capitalism is a deadly enemy of communism. So he gave up his ideas of Marxism. Right? He became a US citizen. He gave up his ideas of Marxism. Right? Communism. Okay. He embraced Christianity, which set the tone for his later poetry. So he became a Christian. Right? And all his points of view, all his poems, later poems, are based on the teachings of the Bible, Jesus Christ. Right? Of all the modern poets, Auden was the only one to find himself at ease in the much maligned 20th century predicament. See, the 20th century predicament. Predicament is a situation, a problem, a problematic situation. 2 world wars took place. The Cold War was there. There was always a danger of a nuclear war throughout. Before the dissolution of Russia, right? Always there's a threat of you being vaporized. The nuclear bomb would explode half a kilometer above the city and that's it. You don't know what happens. You're vaporized. Right? That threat, that Cold War, nuclear war. Anytime, each side, the US and the USSR could launch nuclear missiles. Right? Any moment. Until the dissolution of the USSR, it was a real threat. 2 world wars, the genocide of the Jews, the Cold War, the much maligned 20th century predicament. Maligned is when you twist things out, you become slightly twisted in your life. Right? Can't think clearly. When is it good? When is thinking paranoid? When is it going to happen? Right? Is it going to happen? What can I do? Much maligned 20th century predicament. But what are we told here? Of all modern poets who lived during the 20th century, Auden was the only one to find himself at ease with that 20th century predicament. He was at ease. Okay. He's quite relaxed. What helped him? What helped him? It's in his own mind. Right? It's in his own mind. It's in people's mind. Am I going to be killed? Am I going to be vaporized? Such fears, not only threat of nuclear war. It can be any fear. It can be anything. Right? How do you come back to your natural relaxed state when you are caught in the grip? You turn to religion. Right? So Auden became a Christian. Right? He embraced Christianity. And that helped him to deal with this, with all what was going through his mind. Right? Religion. Okay. He did not turn away from his times. He took them head on. They never looked away from a problem. It doesn't matter, it may not happen, it may happen. No such points of view. He took the problem head on. Right? He faced the problem squarely. So you should also try it. You are caught in the grip of some fear. Let's see how you face the problem. Right? Come back to the natural, relaxed state. Very desirable, natural, relaxed state. Isn't it? I think the exam is tomorrow. That natural, relaxed state which you find yourself throughout the year in. Okay. He faced them head on. Right? His major collections of poetry include The Double Man, For the Time Being, The Sea and the Mirror, The Age of Anxiety, Baroque Eclogue, City Without Walls, and Epistle to Gospel. These are very famous collections of poetry. Right? He, in collaboration with Christopher Isherwood, wrote some excellent poetic plays. The Dog Beneath the Skin, The Scent of F6, On the Frontier, the adjective Audenist. See adjective, Audenist poems. It's an eponym, E-P-O-N-Y-M. Right? The adjective Audenist is often employed to denote the use of modernized diction in all its glory and enormity. Modernized diction, right? Diction is the words used to write something. The central now we come to the note on the poem itself. The central focus of Refugee Blues is anti-Semitism. Semitism is, pro-Jew, for the Jews. Anti-Semites, they're against the Jews. Hitler was an anti-Semite. Right? As I said, he committed genocide, wiping out the race. 20 million Jews to the gas chambers. Right? Okay. The central focus of Refugee Blues is anti-Semitism. Who are the refugees? They're Jews. Right? Okay. That raged in the early decades of early 20th century Europe. Early decades, right? 1940s, like that. The speaker of the poem is one of the German Jewish refugees. German, he's from Germany, but he's Jewish. So he has to become a refugee. He has to immigrate. He has to leave Germany because he's persecuted by the forces of Hitler. The speaker of the poem is one of the German Jewish refugees who went means expresses, who went his desperate anguish against the Nazi regime. Desperate anguish. Anguish is pain. Desperate anguish against the Nazi regime. They are responsible. How can they? Right? Against the Nazi regime and the rest of the conniving West. Conniving means you pretend not to be friends, but actually you are plotting against someone. Conniving is hand in hand with so the West, even though the US, the UK and France fought against the Nazis, some people in the West connived with the Nazis to exterminate the Jews. Right? So what does the German Jewish refugee do? He vents his anguish against Germans, Hitler, as well as the rest of the conniving West. Right? The alienated speaker, alienated means right now, if you go home, the minimum thing you'll get is some food, some place to sleep, some TV, some mobile, all comforts. Refugees don't, they are alienated. Alien means they don't have anyone. Right? Nobody. In fact, they're threatened all the time. They're alienated. Alien is, aliens of course are from different planets. Aliens also refers to people from another country. Right? Aliens. So, the refugees are alienated. Right? They don't have anyone. Alienated speaker feels emotionally banished from the country which once he had a strong sense of belongingness for. He had a strong sense of belongingness. Felt like he belonged to Germany. Part of the country. He belonged to the country. Right? He had a strong sense of belongingness for the country. But now, he feels emotionally banished. Once Hitler came to power, where are the Jews? Where are the Jews? We want to find the Jews. Right? Threatening. Emotionally banished from the country. He once had a strong sense of belongingness for. Right? The Holocaust. Holocaust is a word used to describe how the Jews were rounded up, taken in trucks to the concentration camps and led by the thousands into the gas chambers. It's called the Holocaust. And their bodies were buried in mass graves. He's dug a pit in the ground, 200 of bodies covered. It's a Holocaust. The Holocaust, the speaker seems to suggest, resulted from an insidious act of complicity between Hitler and the European political leadership. How did Nazism come about? Hitler, as one man, he led the whole, he persuaded the whole of Europe to go to war. One man persuaded the whole of Europe to go to war against the West. World domination. Right? Now, Hitler, he convinced there was a complicity. Complicity is a word which is negative in meaning. if you comply with someone, you agree. Complicity has got a negative meaning. Usually you agree to something which is harmful. So, okay, there was an act of complicity between Hitler and the European political leadership. Which country is Europe? Which country is Europe?
European.
Why are you wondering which country? It's not a country, it's a continent. Europe is made up of different countries. Italy, Germany, France, Portugal, Spain, Czechoslovakia, all those make up Europe. All those many governments of Europe, there was an act of complicity between Hitler and European governments. So that resulted in the Holocaust. Right? Means what? Nowhere in Europe are these German Jews safe. They're not safe anywhere in Europe. Europe means what? It's a large place. And they're always looking for you. Right? And they do not feel safe anywhere in Europe. Right? So, and this Holocaust, this plight of the German Jews was because of an act of complicity between Germany and the rest of the European governments. Okay? The poem is an indictment. Indictment means it's a term of complaint. Right? The poem is an indictment of deeply hypocritical and degenerate Western civilization. Hypocritical. Say one thing and do another. Okay. Say one thing and do another. Right? That's hypocrisy. Right? Of deeply hypocritical and degenerate Western civilization. Where the moral fiber, absolutely, there's no morality whatsoever. Right? Degenerate Western civilization which deprived the Jewish community of its basic human dignity. The Jews were persecuted because of the degenerate Nazis, because of the hypocritical stance of the West. Saying one thing and doing another. They don't have any sense of right and wrong, good and bad, what to do, what not to do. Nothing, right? So, the Jews are deprived of their basic human dignity. The poem also attempts to draw attention to one of the primary conditions of life in the 20th century, homelessness. See, as a result of all this, problem arises. Homelessness. See, here it's okay. You can go outside, if it rains, you can take shelter in some bus stop or something. In the West, it's not like that. In the West, it's freezing. Once winter comes, no matter what you wear, you'll be frozen. So, you need home in the West. Right? Homelessness. It's a result for whom? For the refugees. Right? So now we come to the poem itself. Right? Here is a couple speaking. Okay, there's a couple speaking. Couple means husband and wife. Husband is talking to the wife, right? Say this city has 10 million souls. Say, that is, let us estimate that this city, the city they are in, right? An estimate of that city, the population is, let's suppose it has 10 million souls. Some are living in mansions and some are living in homes. Some are living in vast mansions, villas. Maybe even a palace is there. Some are living in mansions. Others are living in dilapidated, broken homes. Some are living in homes, some are living in mansions in that city of 10 million souls. Yet there is no place for us, my dear, there is no place for us. Right? 10 million people, 10 million shelters, houses, things like that. Yet there is no place for us, there is no place for us. Okay? Once we had a country and we thought it fair. Before the advent of Hitler, Germany was haven, place of refuge, place of refuge. Refuge is like you have said, it's a place of refuge. Somewhere to go, somewhere for something to do, someone to see, that's a place of refuge. Refugee, you had a need, you have refuge. Becomes opposite, right? Once we had a country and we thought it fair. Germany was a place of refuge for the Jews. Once we had a country and we thought it fair, look in the atlas and you'll find it there. But now where is the Germany they need? Open the atlas, book of maps, this is where Germany is. Not anywhere in their life. Okay. And you'll find it there. We cannot go there now, my dear, we cannot go there now. Okay? Anyway, in the village churchyard there grows an old yew. Yew is a type of tree. In the village churchyard there grows an old yew. Every spring it blossoms anew, right? Every spring the trees are reborn. They shed their leaves